My passion for periods comes from a really personal place of, you know, my family experiencing what it's like to live at another end of what I call the privilege spectrum of privilege, and sort of realizing that I had a lot more to be thankful for and was blessed with than I was using for the betterment of my community. And I think that service is the way I've really found to reconcile the privilege I have, and a lot of my motivation comes from this capacity for empathy that I think I've built through my family's experiences of living without a home of our own at a certain point in time. So is that, and then during that time collecting an anthology of stories of women using toilet paper, socks, brown paper, grocery bags, and even cardboard to maintain their periods, and sort of seeing the emotional, physical, and economic effect that had on homeless women who are trying to make the best of their situations or even move out of their situations, but were still dealing with this fact that they were menstruating on a monthly basis for the majority of their life at that point. My eyes have been opened up to different parts of the movement, right? When I was starting, I was really thinking about this simply from the element of period products needing to go to people who couldn't afford them. And now, and also realizing that this was a really big thing that held people back on a global level from achieving economic mobility, whether that be in other countries where it's the number one reason why girls miss school in developing countries, or even the United States where it's the leading cause of absenteeism and in the U.S. For young girls in school, or thinking about how, as the transition from girlhood to womanhood, this is a single event that leads to girls dropping out of school, getting married early, undergoing female genital mutilation or social isolation. So I think it was a lot of that, and realizing that there was so much more that we could be doing. And so I kind of picked up. I think my ideas on the menstrual movement has changed in the way of, like, now I realize that there's different sectors, whether it be on sustainability, the question of the gender binary, and being more gender inclusive about our language. I wasn't when I started, or thinking about what this means from a cultural or religious standpoint as well. The use of media, I think, is what has made us so grow so fast, and in a competitive field really rise to the level that we have, because I mean, I kind of make a joke of this, but like, other nonprofits have to hire young people to do social media because we know how to use it best, and we as a group of young people are able to do it for free, and we like to do it. It's a daily part of our life. I spend hours on Instagram, more than I should, and so I think in that way media and written journalism has really helped us spread the word very quickly. Every time press goes out about us, that's when we get more chapters, more donations, more network, and more following. In terms of media, I think it's affected my life and opportunities. It's opened up a lot more opportunities because it helps me connect with new people that I wouldn't have otherwise met. At the same time, I think it's definitely addicting, right? Like, I love social media for the capacity it has, but I'm constantly on social media, and when I started getting like cyberbullying and hate, it's something that really affected my self-confidence for a while, and I'm still very much learning how to cope with that, whether it be ignoring the comments or trying to ignore them at least. So in that way, yeah. Media enhanced my campaign literally by running it. We invested almost all of our budget by the end only on social media and Facebook ads, and people would come up to me in the street saying they saw me on Facebook. And so we were trying to get young voters who use social media all the time because it's such a daily part of life. At the same time, like, press is how we kind of spread on a national level, both on a negative and a positive level. And I think that press and media is just a way to get the word out there and connect with people who are kind of on social media all the time and always looking for things to be inspired by, to laugh at, or to make new connections. So being featured in Teen Vogue, I think, has opened the doors by being allowing us to start a lot of new chapters, because their following's a bunch of young, passionate, most for the most part women, and so we're able to connect with a lot of these young women who want to get involved, or interested in getting involved, and have heard about the organization and want to get involved. When my book went out for publication with my literary agents, the first thing they look at is like, what's your credibility, right? And one of the major ways they look at that is through social media. Like, what have you done on social media? What's your following? When the book comes out, how able are you to be able to promote it? So social media really plays a part into that as well. Period Con, we spread over social media that it was happening. When we contacted new sponsors or speakers, the first thing they want to do is see what media we've been featured in for credibility. I think the social media team at Period can better reach society by creating digital content. Videos work really amazingly, and that's something we haven't really done as much as I would hope. But I think the way social media team can really better reach society is by constantly creating content that people are going to be scrolling on their phones every day, maybe not thinking about periods at all, have never thought about it, stumble across it and like, oh, this is interesting, oh, this is something I want to learn more, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nadia Okamoto, founder and executive director of Period, and I'm here to talk to you about, well, periods. When I was 16, my family experienced losing our home, and during this time I had many conversations with homeless women and learned about an unaddressed need that I had never thought about before: periods. When homeless people can't afford menstrual products, they resort to using unclean methods like toilet paper, socks, rags, or brown paper bags. And these things can lead to dangerous infections or toxic shock syndrome. That's when I knew I had to do something. In 2014, I founded Period. We are a youth-run nonprofit celebrating menstruation through service, education, and advocacy. We do this through the global distribution of Period products and the engagement of youth leadership through a nationwide network of campus chapters. We help people with periods feel cared for and dignified, simply by addressing this most basic need. In the last 2 years, we have served over 75,000 periods and have over 60 registered campus chapters at universities and high schools. And we're just getting started.
Providing period products is only half of what we do. Starting public conversations about menstruation, however uncomfortable, is the other. It's hard to believe we still can't speak openly about something that happens every month on an average of 40 years to nearly half the population.
We'll never have gender equity if we can't talk about periods. That's why we're building a movement to raise awareness, make big changes, and ensure menstrual equity.
Did you know that there's a sales tax on period products in 37 US states, while hair loss and erectile dysfunction medication aren't taxed at all? And that many food stamp programs don't cover menstrual hygiene products either?
Well, we're gonna change that. As youth activists leading the menstrual movement, we're fighting for equitable access to menstrual hygiene for all people with periods. Because having your period is not a luxury, and menstrual hygiene is not a privilege, it's a right.
So join us and help us serve those in need and break the stigma.
At Period, we're changing the cycle.
How about you change it with us?
Visit period.org to learn more. Get involved. Start a chapter, host a packing party, and donate today. Every $2 donated addresses at least one more period, and just $100 helps us open up a new chapter. We are Period, the menstrual movement.